In this practice video, I'm going to show you about inserting components. So from this particular view that we want, we're going to start by inserting some air terminals. So we need to make sure that we're in Systems and we want to load in an air terminal. Now in the properties, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're at the level 1 on the constraints, and we want to set the offset to 2500. So we're just going to enter those in and press enter and then apply. And then we're going to place our item roughly in the center of this particular room here. Now without exiting this, what we want to do is we want to go over to the properties and change this to, as you can see, that was a supply diffuser. We want to change this to a return diffuser. 600 by 600 and 300 connection. So it's exactly the same except this is a return. And we're going to place this in the corner of the room, but before we do that, just take note that because we've changed the type, it also defaults back to 0 on the elevation. So we need to make sure that we enter the same details in again, 2500, and press enter and then apply, and then we can place this in the corner of the room. And then we can just click modify to escape. Now, even though that this might look right, what you should always do is just have a look at an electrical ceiling plan for that same area. Because in some cases, as you can see here, there's a ceiling grid. We need to make sure that even though we've got these roughly where it's asked us to put them in, if there's a ceiling grid, we should really align to those. Now as you can see, we can't see these diffusers in here. And what we need to do is we need to just switch those on in this electrical view. So to do that, all I've done is I've just used the keyboard command for visibility graphics, which is VV, which brings up this table here, and then I'm just going to switch on air terminals and then click on OK. And as you can see, we can now see the air terminals that we placed in this view here. And it's, as I say, it's a good idea to align these to the grid if there is one. We can manually maneuver this by clicking on it and using the move command, or we can use this align tool. To do that, we need to click on the object that we want to align to and then the object that we want to move, and then again, and then do the same on this one. So for example, we want to align to this line and we want this edge to align to it, and then we want that edge to align with this, and there we have our supply grill and return air grill aligned to suit to the ceiling grid. And when we go back to the mechanical view, it's still in the positions that was asked for, but we know that we've aligned to it. Right, something else that we need to insert in this now is some mechanical equipment. So we need to go back to Systems, and we're going to click on Mechanical Equipment. And then over here we need to go and find an M boiler standard, and there we have one. And we're going to place that in this room. But before we do that, again, just check level 1 and it's floor mounted, so that stays at 0. and then we place it. Right, now we're going to place some plumbing fixtures. So to do that, we want to be in a plumbing view. And then we're going to place some fixtures in this men's WC room here. So again, checking that we're in the systems menu, we know to go to plumbing fixture. And then we're going to go in and we're going to find a wall mounted water closet. And then we're going to choose one of these. So we'll have a public 6.1. And as you can see, it's automatically picking place on vertical plane. And I'm going to put that in place. And escape out of it. Now if we click on any other items, what we want to do is we want to load in a lavatory. Now a lavatory is another name for a wash basin. And we'll have a look. We've got water closet, urinal, sink, floor drain. So no lavatory. So this is where we need to insert, load family. And then we need to go to plumbing fixtures. Plumbing, MEP, fixtures, lavatories, and we want lavatory oval. Click open. And then in the selector, now that we've inserted one, the one that we want to put in is 635 by 510 public. And then we want to put this in place. Now what we need to do is we want this to align with this toilet. So what we can do is we can put this in place here. Again, now you can either draw a line by using annotate and detail line, find the center and draw it across, or we can put a reference plane in, but this is just as easy doing it this way. And then we pick the item and then we want to move this. So we find the center line and align that up, and then we can make sure you delete the line. And then the last part in this particular exercise is the electrical. So we want to go to the electrical ceiling plan. Now for here, what we want to do is, because we switched on the supply grills air terminals last time, we're going to switch it back off again. So VV, keyboard shortcut for visibility graphics, and then untick those. And now we want to insert some luminaires, so we need to go to systems and then light fittings. The one that we want to put in is this one, plain recessed lighting fixture, but we want 600 by 1200 and 277 volts. And we want to place on face. And as you can see, it's snapping to a grid when we go near it. The blue box around the room is the ceiling throughout that particular room there. Now if we want to align this in, we can either put it in and manually rotate it, or we can just click on our spacebar to turn it around automatically. And then what we want to do is we want to place this one here, and then 3 tiles away we want to place one there. Now if we were just to double check and turn these on, you can see that we have missed them. If you want those on but not show up dark, all you need to do is just click on the half tone for the air terminals and then click on OK, and it fades them to grey. And then the last item that we want to do is we want to put a light switch in at the entrance to the room. So we need to go to Device and change that over to Lighting. And then we want a single pole light switch. Now in this example the default's 1200, which is fine for this exercise, but there are certain heights that need to be applied for Australian standards, but we'll talk about those in later videos. And then we just place that near to the door. And then since it's a lighting drawing, we want to switch off the air terminals. And that's the end of the practice inserting components.